Hey there! Welcome back to Touring History, the podcast where we prove that any random date contains enough technological revolution to power an entire Silicon Valley documentary series. I'm Southern Dave today.
And I'm not Southern Lane. And this is our 6th episode of Touring History X, Y, and Z, our shorter
Woohoo!
format designed to entertain and educate across 3 of the largest generations.
Yeah, sorry, boomers, we're not including you in this one. 6 episodes in, and we're finally finding our rhythm with this generational analysis approach. We hope you like it because we think it's fascinating how the same technological breakthrough can feel like ancient history to one generation and cutting-edge innovation to another.
Yeah, think of it as historical technology assessment with better visual innovation. And before we dive into a day that gave us everything from color television to nuclear power to pride parades, we need to talk about Ike's Love and Sandwiches.
Oh, are we really segueing from nuclear technology to sandwich engineering? Come on.
Well, of course we are, Dave. When you're about to discuss color TV, nuclear power, and LGBTQ plus rights all in one episode, you need sustenance that understands both innovation and tradition. Ike's Love and Sandwiches doesn't just make sandwiches, they pioneer edible excellence.
Okay, well, when you put it that way. So, since 2007, they've been proving that breakthrough thinking applies to food, too. Because over 600 sandwich combinations exist there, each one systematically crafted and named after someone who changed the world. From the Tony Soprano to the Menage a Trois.
Ooh, I'm wearing a beret now.
Order that one late night.
Check them out at ikesandwich.com because when history gets this technologically revolutionary, you deserve food that's equally innovative.
So, in today's history is definitely revolutionary. June 27th, the day television went color, nuclear power went commercial, and pride went public. 3 moments about seeing the world differently, harnessing new energy, and celebrating authentic identity.
Well, let's start with birthdays because that's what we
Yeah.
always do, right?
Right.
Because June 27th showcases the evolution of American entertainment. Bruce Johnston turns 83 today, Beach Boys harmonizer who helped define the California sound that became synonymous with American optimism.
Wow. Plus, we've got J.J. Abrams at 59. Well, the master of mystery box storytelling, he proved that nostalgia and innovation could work together in both television and blockbuster films. He's all over the place.
Tobey Maguire's 50, bringing earnest vulnerability to superhero movies and proving that comic book adaptations could have genuine emotional depth.
I'm Spider-Man. Khloe Kardashian at 41, transforming reality TV fame into everything, while navigating public scrutiny with surprising resilience and humor.
And her, Her, at 28, creating R&B that's both deeply personal and socially conscious, proving that young artists can honor musical traditions while addressing contemporary issues.
That's right, from surf rock pioneers to sci-fi visionaries to R&B innovators. June 27th really captures how American creativity keeps reinventing itself across generations.
So let's start with June 27, 1929. The first color television demonstration takes place. And this is absolutely foundational Gen X media experience right here.
1929? Jeez, it took them a while to get it out the market. Oh, here we go. Lane's connecting the 20s television technology to generational identity again.
Well, that's what we're here to do, Dave. Seriously,
That's
Gen X were the first generation to grow up assuming that color TV was normal, but they were also the last generation to remember when it was special.
Oh, right. Their parents talked about when TV was black and white, like it was ancient history. But Gen X could still find old black and white shows and understand that this represented technological progress. Was that on TV Land, everything that was black and
Right. All the UHF channels, right?
Oh, yes.
Does anyone know what those are?
Yes.
We do.
VHF? UHF.
That's right. And more importantly, they were the first generation to experience color TV as the baseline for visual media. Everything they watched, cartoons, movies, commercials, was designed assuming color was normal.
Which it was not, which prepared them for the transition to digital media in ways that earlier generations struggled with. Sort of, wow, the TV's in color now. Gen X already understood that visual technology keeps improving.
Exactly. When DVDs replaced VHS, when HD TVs replaced standard definition, when streaming replaced cable, Gen X weren't surprised that visual quality kept getting better.
Gosh, it's like lightning speed. What's next? They grow up with this expectation that media technology would continuously evolve. So they adapted to new formats faster than their parents, but with more skepticism than their kids. Hey, Lane, do you remember Google Glass? That lasted all of a nanosecond.
It's taken a long time to find a form factor for glasses, but the new Ray-Bans, that are a partnership with Meta are much closer to, I think, what they were envisioning. Anyway,
Mm,
Gen X understood that technological transitions are messy and incomplete. It takes a lot of time, and not everyone upgrades at the same time. So new technology has to accommodate old systems. Oh,
although,
I
let's
just
be
read your
honest,
stuff. Wait a
that's
minute.
quite all right. We'll move
Where am I
along.
supposed to be?
Uh, you
All
just
right.
keep reading.
What's fascinating is how color TV changed content creation. Shows had to be designed for both color and black and white viewers for decades, which created this weird aesthetic compromise.
Yeah, Gen X understood that technological transitions are messy and incomplete. Not everyone upgrades at the same time, so new technology has to accommodate old systems. So, you still watching on a black and white set? Hold on, let me show you my new flip phone.
That might be part of the reason they're so good at navigating technological change. They learned early that progress isn't instant or universal, it's gradual and uneven.
Yeah, well, let's be honest, Lane. Most people in 1929 couldn't afford televisions, much less, watching color. This demonstration was pure speculation about future possibilities, and it was the size of a house.
Yeah, but that's very Gen X too, understanding that technological innovation usually starts as expensive novelty before becoming essential infrastructure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most cars, when they came out, were only for the rich. It wasn't until Henry Ford decided, well, I want to make one for the everyman, that people
Right.
even considered buying one.
And look at Mr. Musk and his promise of robo taxis. I mean, he's been promising those for years and it's always right around the corner.
Yeah, well,
Nope.
he's got problems with his rocket right now, so he's busy. June 27th, 1954, the Soviet Union opens the world's first commercial nuclear power plant. I don't know if they were so good with those. In Obninsk. And this is peak millennial existential anxiety material. Rutro.
Explain that, Dave. How is 1950s nuclear technology specifically millennial?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Lane, because millennials inherited nuclear power as this deeply ambiguous legacy. It's clean energy that could help solve climate change, but it's also the technology that could literally end civilization. Rutro.
And they grew up during the end of the Cold War when nuclear weapons seemed less threatening. But then came Chernobyl documentaries, Fukushima, and constant debates about nuclear waste.
Right. So millennials have this complicated relationship with nuclear technology. It's clean, but it's dangerous. Simultaneously, the solution to and the cause of existential threats.
Plus, they're the generation dealing with climate change most directly. So they have to weigh nuclear power's benefits against its risks in very practical terms.
That's right, yin and yang. Older generations either remember when nuclear power was pure optimism or pure terror. Millennials have to evaluate it as boring policy choice with catastrophic potential consequences.
What's remarkable is how nuclear technology represents both human innovation and human hubris. We figured out how to split atoms, but we're still figuring out what to do with radioactive waste.
Send it up on one of Elon's rockets. Uh-oh, maybe not. Atoms for peace? Wait a minute, what do I do with all the waste? And the timeline is staggering. Nuclear waste stays dangerous for thousands of years, but we make energy policy decisions based on election cycles and quarterly earnings reports.
Very millennial problem being asked to make long term decisions about short term politics while dealing with consequences that will outlast multiple generations.
Yeah, you guys deal with it. I just want to plug in my razor. Although nuclear power has gotten much safer since 1954, modern reactors have multiple backup systems and much better waste management than early plants.
But millennials also understand that much safer isn't the same as completely safe, and the stakes are too high for probabilistic thinking.
Yeah, well, there's nothing too safe. I mean, coal. Yeah, sure, that's safe unless you're down in the mines.
Oh,
Oil?
yeah.
Yeah, that's safe unless you're in some backwater and it blows apart on you. Yeah, sure. Nothing's safe. So they're stuck weighing imperfect energy choices. Fossil fuels that definitely cause climate change versus nuclear power that probably won't cause catastrophes. I mean, even wind turbines, those things could fly off and hit something.
They cause cancer and kill birds.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Answering birds.
let's jump ahead to June 27, 1970. Chicago hosts the first ever Pride Parade. And this is absolutely foundational Gen Z identity politics DNA.
Okay. Once again, how is the 1970 Pride Parade specifically Gen Z, Lane?
Well, because Gen Z grew up assuming that LGBTQ plus pride was just normal public celebration. They never
Ah,
experienced pride as dangerous or controversial. For them, it's always been mainstream corporate sponsored festival.
that's right. You're right. And they're the first generation to experience sexual and gender identity as spectrum rather than binary categories. You have to look that one up. Pride wasn't just about gay and lesbian rights, it was about celebrating all forms of authentic self-expression. Be who you want to be.
Right. The first Chicago Pride Parade had maybe 150 people and was considered radical activism. And by the time Gen Z became aware of Pride, it had corporate floats and mayoral proclamations.
Yeah, so they inherited Pride as established cultural institution, but they also understand its radical origins in ways that sometimes surprise older activists. What, you didn't know? Jeez,
Exact.
it was rough.
Yeah, exactly. Gen Z knows that Pride started as protest against police harassment and social exclusion, even though they've only experienced it as celebration and community building.
Yeah, sounds like the beginning of every change, but I blather on. What's fascinating is how they balance appreciation for progress with awareness of ongoing struggles. They're grateful for marriage equality, but focused on transgender rights and global LGBTQ plus issues.
And they understand that visibility and acceptance aren't the same thing. Pride parades are mainstream now, but discrimination and violence against LGBTQ plus people are that still continues, unfortunately.
Yes, it does. Yeah, Gen Z learned that cultural celebrations can coexist with political struggle. Pride can be both party and protest, both gratitude for progress and demand for more change.
Plus, they're dealing with backlash that older generations didn't expect. LGBTQ plus rights seemed settled. Then suddenly, they're being challenged again in schools and state legislatures.
Yeah, so Gen Z has to defend rights that they assumed were permanent while pushing for progress that older generations thought was impossible.
Yeah, very Gen Z experience, inheriting both victories and ongoing battles, celebration and vigilance, mainstream acceptance, and persistent marginalization.
Speaking of persistent marginalization, how about we celebrate authentic flavors that never go out of style? Let's talk about Ike's Lovin'
I
Sandwiches.
While other places chase food trends, Ike's focuses on timeless excellence. Over 600 different sandwiches, each one representing the kind of creativity that builds lasting communities.
The Harvey Milk turkey and avocado with Swiss, proving that the best combinations honor both flavor and values. The Marie Curie, chicken with all the fixings because some pioneers deserve maximum respect. Go
You
Marie!
know, you could keep the Marie Curie wrapped up, and I bet I can still see what's inside it.
Oh, yes.
It's an X ray joke, everybody. Look it up.
Yes, he invented that. Okay.
Founded in 2007 with belief that great food should bring people together while celebrating individual creativity, proving that diversity and quality make everything better.
Everything. Check them out at ikesandwich.com, where every sandwich proves that authentic excellence never needs to apologize for being exactly what it is.
So there you have it, our sixth Touring History X, Y, and Z episode. June 27th gave us three different approaches to seeing the world: technological innovation, energy production, and authentic celebration.
What strikes me is how these events show different aspects of human progress. Color TV changed how we perceive reality. The world is not all in black and white, damn it. And the earth is flat. I know it. Nuclear power changed how we produce energy, and pride changed how we celebrate identity.
And each innovation shaped different generations differently. Gen X learned that technological progress is continuous but uneven. Millennials learned that powerful technologies require careful evaluation. And Gen Z learned that social progress requires both celebration and vigilance.
Although three lessons remain relevant, technology still transforms perception, energy choices still have long term consequences, and social movements still need both visibility and substance.
The tools change, but the fundamental challenges of seeing clearly, choosing wisely, and celebrating authentically remain pretty consistent across generations.
Well, speaking of authentic excellence that keeps getting better, Ike's Lovin' Sandwiches has been proving that innovation and tradition create perfect combinations. Check them out at ikesandwich.com.
Thanks for joining us. This X, Y, and Z format keeps revealing how technological and social innovations create the frameworks that different generations use to understand progress.
That's right. So until then, I'm Dave.
And I'm Lane, reminding you that history is just people making decisions about what to see, how to power the future, and whether authenticity deserves public celebration.
Go Color TV.
Yay, and I'm proud of it.